What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Let's get right into today's clip that I got from the Dr. Phil show, where they are discussing affirmative action and if it is systemically racist. And they got Candace Owens debating this woke professor from some university who's basically admitting to racism, and he doesn't even realize it, through their admissions process and how they select their students and different various policies that they have at their school. So let's look at this debate together, and then I also have some comments that I put at the end we're going to read. Let's get right into the clip.
Based on what I read, see in the media, talk to people about, this is a topic that almost everyone feels strongly about one way or the other. I want to hear what the audience has to say. Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, if you're white, someone can discriminate against you, but there's no systemic basis to it.
But if it's becoming part of the university admission process, if it's determining hiring practices, dismissal practices in industry, is that not systemic?
You could nitpick and find little instances on both sides, but I think if you look at it as a whole, then you begin to understand where it's coming from.
Who else has a comment? Yes, sir, in the back.
My name is
He
Dan.
just admitted, he said at first it wasn't, and then he said, if you look at it as a whole, then you can see where it's coming from. So is it systemically racist or is it not? It does not make any sense.
And I think it's great that you try to fix some of the inequities that have happened in the past. But I don't think it should jump to the front of the line when you're going to college or you're trying to get a job. I think it's important that we address it very early on, where a lot of the major issues are happening in the families of some of the ones that are maybe disadvantaged, or if they're having trouble in school, it started at the elementary school level, where once they get to the admissions process or get to a job interview, it's based on your merit.
Candace, are we compromising standards if we do that because we haven't fixed the problem down the line?
That's correct. It is, the policies are harmful also to the people that they purport to help. And we have all of the evidence there to look at. When you artificially place a Black American into a school in which they do not belong based on their knowledge, doesn't mean that they go on to get A's. In fact, there was a Black adjunct professor, you guys have definitely heard of him, Dr. Thomas Sowell, who was teaching at Cornell University, and he found that the majority of the Black American students that were there were on academic probation. Now, these students were some of the smartest in the nation, but because they were artificially placed amongst their peers at Cornell University, they were failing on academic probation. These policies have never helped Black Americans. It's just basically policies that are put in place to make people feel good, right? I feel like I'm doing something when in fact I'm actually creating harm. You either know the answers or you don't.
When you say, hey, we have Black students at a particular school who aren't performing at that school as well, the immediate assumption that you're making is, well, maybe it's because they're not smart enough, they're not good enough, or they don't belong here. Whereas it could be about the experience that they're having at that institution. Professors who believe that they're not intelligent enough, that they don't have the capability to do the work, that they see them as criminals, deviants, dangerous, up to no good, or they talk about them with the they statements. They're lazy, they don't care, they don't really belong here. They're only here for the financial gain.
I'm giving you actual facts.
No,
right?
I'm giving
So
you
we can
actual
Whoa.
facts based on
fantasize, and you
extensive
can say, well, maybe they
research
just
that's
don't
been
feel
done.
good. But that's not the case. I mean, I went to university. I did not feel good, right? I didn't pull the best grades in high school, probably got into a better university than I should have gotten into based on my performance in high school. It wasn't because of my feelings. It's because I wasn't focused on it. And that, we're talking about a cultural problem, what's going on back at home, as was in my circumstance. And none of that is because of institutionalized policy. It almost seems like you guys refuse to accept that, you know, Black students aren't performing well. You feel like you have to have this burden of responsibility when in fact, if you actually wanted to help, you would look at the facts, re-examine the fact that it's not helping anybody, it's not helping Black Americans to artificially place them into universities, and you'd make effective change.
But you're making the assumption that Black students are academically inferior, and they're not.
No,
they're
you
some of
are
our most
actually.
brilliant students
that's
that we
the
have.
basic. No. That you are making the assumption that they are inferior.
You
It
just
is
said
why
that they
you
don't
want
belong there.
policies.
They don't.
I'm talking about the students.
They don't. I didn't. And I'm going to stop it there and kind of give you an example and use myself as one. And I had this realization maybe about a month or two ago, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, I think I got into the university that I went to because of affirmative action. Because when I was reflecting on my performance in high school, my GPA wasn't amazing. I wasn't a great student. I mean, I did a lot of extracurricular activities, but there was no way that I got into any school, to be honest with you. Because one, I didn't even take the ACT. I took the ACT. I didn't even take the SAT. I didn't even take the ACT seriously. I just went in there, and I promise you, I went in there and just marked a whole bunch of answers and walked out. I didn't care about school as much as I should have, just like she said. It was my performance, but I got in. I don't know how. Did it help me that I went to college? Maybe on the networking side, the people that I got to meet. But as far as career-wise goes, I don't think so, because I don't use my degree whatsoever. I mean, I didn't even graduate with a decent enough, GPA from a university to continue into, a more, because my bachelor's was a science degree. So to get into like medical school or physical therapy school or anything like that, my GPA wasn't good enough to do that at all. It was more harmful because I have a whole bunch of student loans that I got to pay back. I mean, there are pros and cons, but the net of it was negative to me, in my opinion. I mean, I shouldn't have been able to get into the school or any school, to be honest with you. Not with the GPA I had. I'm just being transparent. Not with the GPA I had. Not with my high school performance. Not with my ACT score. I mean, I didn't even have to write an essay to get into the school that I got into. Matter of fact, I chose the school that I got into because I didn't have to write an essay. I applied to 2 schools. One of the schools said I had to write an essay. The other school said I did not have to write an essay. So I chose with the one that said I didn't have to. I didn't even write the essay for the other school. School was not, I mean, it wasn't important to me. It was important to my family. I did it because of my family. That's literally one of the reasons. It was because of my parents and how, education was very important to them. And I just felt like I just needed to finish. So I just finished high school, finished college, got out the way, and then I just pursued my passion, what I wanted to do, which was entrepreneurship. And I've been doing that since I got out of college. I went to a graduate program that I dropped out of because it was literally just putting myself in more debt for no reason. And I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, my anecdotal experience of affirmative action was a net negative because of all this debt that I have accumulated for no reason, that with a degree that I don't use whatsoever, that I don't plan on using, that I don't care about. Cool, I got it, whatever, it's a piece of paper. I mean, it doesn't even mean anything if I was to apply to a job, because the jobs that I would apply for are really honestly none, because I wouldn't work a job because I'm an entrepreneur. So it's truly irrelevant. It's truly irrelevant. I should have went maybe into a trade school, or I don't know, something more like trade school makes more sense than going to a university. So in my opinion, if you're not going to school to be a lawyer, if you're not going to school to be a doctor, something specialized like that, or a teacher, because you have to have a degree to be a teacher. So, I mean, I don't see anything else. I don't see the importance of it. So anyway, let's just continue the video.
That are based on the policies that you are defending right now, saying that we should have these policies that let them into these universities, not based on their skill set, but based on the color of their skin. So you are assuming that they are inferior.
Exactly. And that's really the basis of affirmative action. And it is, and I've been saying this for a long time in multiple videos, it's racist. It's racist towards black people. You're saying I'm going to lower the standards because you're not smart enough to achieve these standards that have been said that everybody else have been able to achieve. So I'm going to lower it for you, and I'm only lowering it for you because of your skin color and for your group of people. It's truly racism in my opinion. But let's read some of these comments. First comment says, as a black woman, I completely agree with Candace. We shouldn't be pitied because of our skin color. We should be looked at as equals, and that includes equal opportunities for all races. If a white person is denied acceptance on the basis of their skin color, then that is discrimination. Diversity shouldn't be forced. It should be accepted. Yeah, I mean, they call this reverse racism. Bro, it's just racism. And, you know, they call it, well, reverse discrimination. No, it's just discrimination. I mean, it's point and simple. It's not fair. It's not fair. Next comment. Mike said, it's funny whenever Dr. Phil has a guest like Candace on, these people debating the other side act like they've never been confronted with a real argument before. It's very eye-opening. Yeah, it's they remain in their echo chamber. I mean, that's it. This comment, oh, that's the same one. This comment says, just say discrimination, a woman hitting a man isn't reverse, reverse domestic violence. It's simply domestic violence. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on now. This was exactly what they did back in the day. They think these people can, they believe they can fight racism with racism. It's really crazy. This comment says, Candace making that professor look defeated is amazing. He's thinking, why isn't my victim card working? Yeah, he looked appalled like he's never heard that in his life before. Next comment says, regardless of race or ethnicity, if you give someone something they didn't earn, they are unlikely to truly accept it. Yeah, and not only that, I don't want a affirmative action hire in any career field, especially the ones that matter. Like, for example, a doctor. If a hospital hired somebody because of diversity, equity, inclusion, affirmative action, and not because of their merit, not because of their achievements and their knowledge, but because of their skin color, I don't want to go to that doctor. I don't want to go to that lawyer. I don't want to go to none of that. I want the best. I don't care about your skin color. I want the best of the best. The one with the best scores, GPAs, accolades, whatever, scale that we're using to grade these people. I don't want it to be because of your skin color at all. I don't care if you're white or black. I don't care. I truly do not care. I want the best surgeon to operate on me because he's the best surgeon, not because of his skin color. All right, got it? All right. Next comment says, most of my minority friends who got into university on affirmative action dropped out because they weren't yet at the level of other students who got in based on their merit. I didn't see them after the first year they dropped out in debt. On the other hand, myself and my minority friends that won our place at the university due to our merit excelled both in undergraduate and graduate programs and have the degrees to show for it. That's facts. I mean, that's the last comment. Yeah. I mean, you can't agree with that. Disagree with that. You can't. You really, truly can't. But let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about it in the comments section. If this is your first time on the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button for more content. See you on the next video. Peace.